Ladies and gentlemen, it's Max, your favorite chief evangelist over here at Happily. And what you are looking at right now is the peak of German agricultural engineering. This right here is the Class Lexion 8900, the CMOS Automatic Edition, and it is pulling a Convio 1380 grain header. This, my friends, is my favorite combine harvester in Farming Simulator 2025, and I've been playing a lot of this game lately, and it got me thinking, would the people over at Class ever be able to use HubSpot to sell one of these beautiful pieces of agricultural machinery wonder? And I think they can. Let's go do a little bit of research here, right? Okay. So we've got Claas, we've got this Lexion 80,000, 7,000 series combine harvester, all right? And what I was wondering is, hey, how complex are these things to sell? And could their sales team work out of HubSpot? I went and looked at their configurator. Turns out these things are pretty complex. And that's because when you sell any of these, like the Lexion 8900 TerraTrack, which is what I got, the TerraTrack is these treads on the front. You can sell them with the treads on the front. You can sell them with the wheels on the front. There's many different configurations. You have different filtration systems and grain handling systems, and there's different headers you can purchase, all sorts of different things. So I was like, hey, what if, ready? Hear me out. What if we could do this inside of HubSpot? If we go take a look at one of these, I'll go ahead and configure it. You can see they sell them in bundles. Right? This Lexion 8900 TerraTrack corn. This one's configured for corn, but you can configure them for grain. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. But as you can see, you choose a feeder house. There's separation and cleaning options, grain handling, residue management, ground driving tires, things like that, cabin comfort, right? All these different things that you're putting together as you're selling complex piece of machinery just as this. And so I said, hey, what if we did something similar inside of HubSpot using bundles with quote happily so we could sell one of these things? Here's how I did it. All right. Obviously, I didn't recreate their entire product library inside of HubSpot. I could if I wanted to, but I wanted to make a kind of a good example of at least somewhere to get started for a piece of machinery as complex as this. So what I did is I went into HubSpot and I built in a bunch of these different options that someone can choose from when they're configuring one of these beautiful pieces of agricultural wonder. All right. I created a Class Lexion 8900 product to use as my bundle, which is what I'm going to sell. And then I added in a whole bunch of different things that they can choose to go with that, right? We've got the protection plan. We've got the onboard air compressor. This is like an add-on. We've got some premium toolboxes, different options for the cab. We've got all these different grain tanks for 510 BUs and 425 BUs. Man, anyone who's an actual farmer is going to cringe watching me actually make this. We've got the wheel system. We got the TerraTrack tread system. We've got a bunch of different options for the headers, right? But how can we put this together so sales reps can put together a perfect package for this? In quote happily, we went and we made a Claas Lexion 8900 bundle. So let me show you how I actually built this. Now, when we're building this, we always need to start with what the bundle header is. And the bundle header is the name of the actual bundle itself. So in this case, I created a product that's like the baseline for this actual combine harvester here. I just looked into here and I just grabbed whatever the base price was just to make it easy. I called it $1 million. But we start with whatever the base is. We're back into here. We give the base product, we turn that into the bundle header. We can set the price. And then, of course, we can come into here. And if we have different price books, let's say when we sell it in one region or another, or maybe to a distributor versus direct to a farmer, however it works, we might want to change around like the default pricing of this product within a certain price book. We can totally do that. But then what I did is I came and I built these are more generic ones, and we could get as complex as we want here, but just to illustrate the point, what I did is I built some included product options, so things we have to choose for the combine harvester that we're actually creating here. And I chose a couple of different categories here. Obviously, we can add more, but I did the ground drive and tires, which grain header they're choosing, the grain handling system, residue management system, and of course, which cabin comfort options that they wanted to go with, right? I also did some additional add-on products here, additional equipment, right? So inside of here, they can add an additional hand washing station, premium toolbox, central lubrication system, an onboard air compressor. I could put the pricing for the protection plan in here too as well. I think that might be handled a little bit better as a calculated pricing option though. So I'm going to leave that out for now and we'll just do the bundle here. We have all these different options. Now, what I did is as I come into here, we see that for the ground drive and tires, they have two options. They could do the 25 mile per hour wheel drive system, or they could upgrade to the TerraTrax. Now, what you'll see is that since this is the default option here, the price is set at $0. But then if they upgrade to the TerraTrack tread system, you'll see the price goes up by 50 grand. And this will actually add an additional 50 grand onto that $1 million base price for this specific combine harvester here, right? Same thing for the grain header. You have to choose a grain header, at least in my scenario. They probably sell these things without the grain headers and sell them completely separate. Either way, right, whatever the option is, and the grain header is a good example, right? We have it set so they have to choose one, but it's not included in the base price. So it's not going to have the price zeroed out when it's sitting within the bundle. They're going to have to choose one of these, right? And then down here for cabin comfort, for example, they can choose between the premium cab that comes with it, or they can do the premium plus cab that adds an extra $5,300 to the total price, right? So again, in a real life scenario, they would have many more options here because these combine harvesters get very complex. But just to show you, you have all these different ways that you can add in different options, have different choices, add-on products, which are optional, right? And you could go in and you could build the entire thing out so long as those products are shown as products in your HubSpot product library, right? Once we've actually built the bundle in here, let's talk about the actual experience for the salesperson, right? Let's say they're inside of HubSpot here and we're on a deal to sell this Class Lexion 8900. They can come in here, go ahead and create a quote. When they're in the quote builder, I'm going to go ahead and just choose my price book. And I'm going to make sure I have my quote template selected that has my bundle stuff in it. We'll show you that in a second. And then when I go and select the product from the product library, I'm going to choose bundles. Instead of adding all of those different things together from a giant list and just hitting the checkbox, I can simply come in here and select my bundle, right, to sell this specific product. Now, in their case, I might have different bundles for each one of the Lexion models that there are, right? And just have different options that I can choose from depending on what's available for each one of those. Now, I'm going to come into here and I'm going to expand this. And as you can see, it shows me all my default options for all these things. So if I wanted to like really upgrade this thing, I could go ahead and add the TerraTrack system. I could come into here and get that Convio Flex 1380, which is the one that you saw in Farming Simulator that I was just playing. I could come and upgrade the grain tank, get a bigger one in there, and you'll see the prices automatically changing as I'm swapping out different options for these different included product slots that I have. I could then come into here, I can go ahead and add a couple of different things for additional products, right? And then what I could do also is I could have a rule set. So as soon as the product shows up on here, it automatically calculates the MaxiCare protection plan. So what's cool about this is after I've actually put together this bundle, I can come and go and hit preview quote, and you'll actually see that all of the products that are included for this Class Lexion 8900, you see all the different options, you see how it affects the price, and you see what the total price ends up being with all those additional upgraded options that are part of this bundle. And that's how you can sell combine harvesters if you wanted to through HubSpot using the power of quote happily bundles. Do you have any other heavy machinery you'd like to see us sell through HubSpot? Drop a comment under this video or somewhere, or just let us know and we'll show you how you can do it. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.